Welcome to the last day of the Winter Nature Challenge, and I wanted to close this challenge on a really exciting note. So I saved for the last day our nature experiences. And let me tell you a little bit about how we define nature experiences in Nature Matters. So what we're looking for are experiences that are specific and occur in a specific location, and ultimately they are getting outside with a purpose and an intention. So there's so many times when we get outside and we let our kids play and we don't really have a purpose for being out there. It's just to let them run off some steam, right? And nature experiences are different because we're getting out there with the purpose of maybe spending more connected time as a family, or maybe it's wanting our kids to be happier and healthier and letting them run outside and play, and us not being on our cell phones, right, and actually getting out there and engaging with them. So I have for you on this last day your nature experience worksheet. So I have a little bit about how we define nature experiences here, and then we talk about nature destination and then the nature activity types. And this is really just to give you an idea of the matrix and how it's structured. So the matrix is going to be on the next page, and you basically have 4 general places where nature experiences can occur. At home, in your local neighborhood, like a local park, or close to home, sorry, that's your local park. And then your educational site, which is going to be your zoo, aquarium, botanical garden, nature center, things like that. And then a wild place, which is going to be a hiking trail or a campground. So when you start thinking about your educational or your nature experiences in this type of format, it helps you to kind of break things up a little bit, because there's things that you can easily do at home that you couldn't do quite as easily on a wild space. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. It's just some things, like doing a nature craft, is easier to do at home because you have all the materials with you. So then we divide up the nature activities into 3 sections: unstructured, semi-structured, and then highly structured. And unstructured, a great example of this is the list that I gave you guys on the first day of this challenge. And it was, go outside and catch a snowflake with your tongue. You have a goal and you have a reason for being outside. It probably will take 2 seconds for your kids to catch a snowflake, and then they're going to be off playing, and that's fine. It's meant to be unstructured, and it's meant to encourage play. And then you have semi-structured, where you take this activity and then you delve into it a little bit more in more of an educational sense. And then finally, with the highly structured, you actually go outside and do some kind of lesson with your kids. So I also gave you guys an example of my nature experience matrix, so you can kind of see how this is done. This is really cool because once you get the hang of it, you can see how you can make these really simple unstructured activities and turn them into a full-blown lesson where you're teaching your kids about nature, if that's what you choose to do. So let's see. So close to home, I have find animal tracks. That was one of your challenges for this month. And then if you want to take that and make that a little bit more structured of an activity, then you can have your kids describe the tracks and discuss what animal it might have been. Maybe it was a bird, maybe it was a small mammal, maybe it was a deer. Why do you know it was a deer? And then finally, taking that to the highly structured side, in Nature Matters Academy we have a lesson called Can You Find and Identify Animal Tracks, where your kids actually get outside and they practice this skill and practice looking at the different features of an animal track in order to determine what type of animal it is. And so again, you take this really simple activity, find animal tracks, and you can slowly make it more educational and more structured if that's what you choose to do. And so this is a really good tool to have because, like I said, the Nature Challenge worksheet is great. It gives you quick and easy, simple ideas for getting out the door and doing something with your kids right there in your own backyard. But if you're wanting to take these nature experiences a step further and you're wanting to start exploring nature with them and asking questions and answering those questions, then that's when you need to get into these a little bit more structured activities. And the problem that I hear from so many parents is, I want to get outside and I want to learn about nature with my kids, but I don't know where to start. This is where you start, because it allows you to think through this process and basically work on more observation and observational skills, as well as asking questions. So I hope that helps. I'm looking forward to seeing your matrices on the Facebook group.